Time travel is a fantasy that are only seen in the movies despite that many scientists insist on. That if many others are possible reaffirm that this is not the case or at least not in current times however as there was a record of those that can be called time travel despite that the scientific society has not delved into the matter, but these events they have no other possible explanation today. You will see the testimony of a Scottish pilot who managed to travel in time. Westergaard was a force pilot. British Air in the decade 30 was in 1935, remember, was taking your plane from and over to Edinburgh, about 30 kilometers from the capital of Scotland. Goddard step on a track of abandoned landing that I knew very well several years ago. This airfield called train had been left in the oblivion. In fact, nature had made hers. Even a farmer had become a paddock, so your cattle will happen and challenges will do, but it was nothing more. The farm. The rest of the trip continued as one would expect with nothing in particular. A few minutes later it arrived to Edinburgh, where he spent a couple of days. After this period he had to return to and offer again, but then he had a most strange experience shortly before passing on the airfield. Violent storm, but this was kind of strange because the clouds were of a yellow color that Goldberg had never seen in a storm. The rain, torrential and winds made it difficult piloting your aircraft. In addition to the visibility was very reduced. If continued like this, he ran the risk of lose your way or much worse than crashing. Therefore decided ascend above the stranger's yellow clouds and pass over the storm. At least like that would keep the plane control, but surprisingly, the clouds seemed to never end up and it went up, but everything remained the same. One point your plane lost power and not he could climb more. What he did that will precipitate at an alarming rate. Luckily come a point the clouds are scattered at once and Goddard could see the ground again. Turned out to be I was flying over the airfield of train, or so it seemed. A little more the storm just disappeared, giving way to a sky bright and sunny. Then it happened. Account of something even stranger than the storm. The airstrip was gone. Abandoned was actually totally restored and with water activity could see 4 small painted airplanes completely yellow. This surprised him greatly that there were no airplanes in the army that color, but what surprised them the most, it was that one of those planes was from a model that had never seen the track. Staff wore overalls blue when actually the brown color for this uniform. And I take care of so many surprises. The airfield in the storm returned suddenly just like before, with those fortunately yellow clouds for him had already been located and could reach no and land his aircraft. When he told what happened to his colleagues, these did not believe nothing in his story and go there resisted. The most incredible thing about the whole thing is that in 1937, 2 years after the mysterious experience of saving, the British Air Force began to paint their yellow training planes. The mechanic's uniform change of overall is brown-blue, and of course the airfield of Dram was restored, a new model of aircraft in measurement, just the one he saw goal 2 years before. Water had traveled in time to the future. There is no possible explanation for this event beyond that the pilot momentarily went through a tunnel in time. What do you think? You have another explanation in mind for this event so strange but